What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to another Epic 7 video. I just experienced the Rift for myself, completed the boss, and I have a lot to tell you guys about. In terms of just using specific heroes, there's a million other guides out there that I'm sure are going to pop up that tell you exactly what units to use, but I think a lot of people are missing the point. So if you are a newer-ish player and wanting to know about Rift, there's something you really need to be aware of, and that's what I'm going to guide you on in this video. We will go over all the basics, like what heroes to use, what are most efficient, the pets, the rewards, and all that good stuff, how Rift works in general. But the main takeaway I want to get you guys on board, and I'm going to put this at the start of the video, is that this Rift event lasts 4 to 6 months. I say event, but this is a permanent feature. What I mean is the Defect Terminator Zeaon that has the specific fire unit setup, you have 4 to 6 months. That's the time limit Smile gave us, the time frame, to complete the seasonal rewards. And this is the only thing you need to be aware of. There's no other reason to rush this mode just yet. And I think a lot of y'all might be doing a disservice by being pressured to pull for units like Haste, who currently has a banner running, to maybe pull for Roy, who's going to be waiting upcoming soon, potentially in the FMA banner, to invest a ton of Molagora and resources on units like Surin, when right now you guys can just chill and focus on other parts of the game, especially for when things like Roy is going to become available for y'all, when things like Kane is coming out next week. You just have so much time to build up these units. There's no need to rush. And I will touch on why some people are min-maxing and rushing for the rewards here in just a second. But the macro view of Rift is, to be clear, once again, if you are newer, you have limited resources in terms of katas, molas, bookmarks. Do not break the bank. Do not rush. Even if other content creators and players are giving you FOMO because you want to get this done now, there's no reason to, okay? You can wait, you can be patient, you can slowly build up, find a team that's most efficient for you without using too many resources. And I'll help you guys with that with some basic fundamentals later down the line. Right now in this video, I mean. But regardless, once again, just want to show y'all that the seasonal reward you can complete. You have so much time to do this. No need to rush, okay? Now, beyond that, guys, I've been mentioning in my other videos, upcoming why you want to save bookmarks and maybe not summon for Haste, who is insane for this mode. Not a must-have, and I'll elaborate that in just a minute. But the upcoming triple group Covenant banner, where you can get limited units like Landy, Guiding Light, Luna, Draco Plate, for just to name a few examples. The potential FMA collab Full Metal Alchemist with Roy and Edward, and maybe a new unit. That's a real possibility, guys. ReZero didn't have a new unit, but what was it? The Slime had Benny Morrow, so there's a chance there will be a new FMA unit. And then last but not least, there is still the Espa rerun, which should be happening at the end of the year if it's coming back. So there's a lot of things to save for. I don't want you guys spending your bookmarks on Haste, who there's no reason when you have so much time to just wait and chill, because maybe you guys want to go for Kane next week, for example, and use him. There's going to be a lot of different alternatives, and there's no reason to break the bank right now, because this is a difficult mode. And most of y'all know this. If you're brand new, you can't even access this mode until you complete episode 5. Chapter 2-2 or whatever it is. This is not a new player friendly mode, so anyone that is rushing to try to get this, don't worry about it. Take your time, don't waste resources, and just do it at your own pace. Now let's go ahead and just talk about what teams were most successful for me. If you do want to save some resources, and a lot of it is, guys, here's my next point that I think a lot of other players are missing too. This mode can be completed with almost any type of unit. Shout out to Mashu. I heard he did with like 2 Soul Weavers and Ravi, which doesn't sound good at all. No offense, Mashu. But that seems like it takes forever. I've heard some people in my own chat today said they completed, I'll find a screenshot for you guys and put it up here post-editing, but they completed it with Carrot, who kind of seems, with negative synergy, she'll blow up debuffs. But people, if you have enough gear and knowledge, you can complete this boss at least one time. You can kill the boss with almost any fire setup. As long as you have enough sustain, you have some debuffs. If you have decent gear too, you can pretty much mix and match whatever units you have available. The problem is, guys, is the efficiency, and that's why a lot of players are suggesting specific units, and I want to cover that next. The main 3, guys, let's take out Roy here. I think every player that wants to do this efficiently in the long run, and of course, once again, Kane might shake things up, so the best thing is to just wait. But if you want to do it now, I think you need a combination of at least 1 or 2 of the 3 of these if you want to be efficient. You can complete the boss, and the way the Rift works is once you go in, you have 3 remaining chances, but as long as your team doesn't die, you have another go-ahead. So if you have a lot of energy, you could keep continually using energy as long as your team stays alive and eventually kill the boss slowly. But that is so inefficient. That shouldn't be something you guys should be focusing on, and that's going to waste so much energy that you could be spending elsewhere. So for that reason, we're going to talk about efficiency here, and the main thing is, guys, Surin and Haste are the premier debuff / DPS units. They are tailor-made for this mode, and they will make it so consistent while providing sustain for your team as well. Mainly Haste with the vampiric effects. Hazel is just bar none a much better Tamarin for this mode. Since we are using mono fire elements, she brings so much to the table, including amazing sustain, attack up, free effectiveness for your team. She is a must-have, and she is, I shouldn't say must-have, but she is very important, and she is available via connections, okay? Haste I mentioned via bookmarks. If you guys don't want to pull for him, no need, but I do think you should use Surin. So let's say you don't want to pull for Haste, guys. I would suggest then using Surin plus Hazel. If you don't have Surin, you might want to use Haste and maybe wait for like the upcoming Kane next week, for example. But that's the long story, is these 3 units are god tier in this mode for a reason. You don't need them, but if you do want to complete this mode without spending too much energy, you're going to want to have at least some of these 3. These are like the trinity of what makes this Rift mode so easy and efficient. Beyond that, guys, I did want to talk about artifacts real fast, and I'm going to have to actually pull up my journal here. I need to do a quick apology to all y'all that maybe have been following my videos. Honestly, though, I don't think I should apologize because for 5 years, I never needed this artifact and I never pulled for it. Maybe I should have picked up 1 copy, but I don't regret it for a minute because I saved so much powder. It is unfortunate that the 5-year event that Smilegate decided to create, this is an insanely good artifact, but it'll be rerun, so we can pick it up next time it's available. Long story short, though, you don't need this artifact, so if you did follow my advice and pull for it, you're okay. I'm going to go over that here in just a second, but this is one of the premier artifacts, and I'm using this as an example because the less amount of debuff artifacts you have, so Torn Sleeve, let me show you guys a few other, Cradle. This is going to be if you guys are using things like Ken, for example, Warriors, Cradle of Life, which has debuffs as well. In my own example, I'm using Alabastron on my haste right now, and you guys are noticing a trend between all these artifacts, right? They give a lot of just random debuffs, and that's what you're going to want to use to control the boss. On top of that, Alabastron gives free effectiveness, so if you guys have any combination of these, it's fine. And let me show you guys something. Even without the Torn Sleeve and only 1 copy of Alabastron, there's other thief artifacts you can use, and I'll show you guys right here. My CERN is actually just using Rihanna and Lucella. There is some other alternatives as well, but whatever you guys can do to increase the amount of efficacy of your thief units or whatever units you're using for debuffs, you'll be a-okay. The less artifacts you have, though, that provide debuffs, the more overpowered or really efficient units you're going to need, like Fire CERN and Fire Haste, just to give you the 2 prime examples, okay? But I don't want to really talk too much about this, guys. There's so many other units you can use here. I've seen teams complete with Charlotte, Adventure Roz, Ilinov. I haven't seen anyone with Lilius yet, but let me know in the comments below. Mercedes, I've seen people use. Milim, I've heard is insane here. Edward, people have been using as a frontline tank. I mentioned someone used Carrot. I wouldn't suggest Carrot, though. Cirilla, I've actually heard being used here as well. I think a lot. Elfelt, Roy is what I'm using. Let me put him back here. There's so many teams you can use, but a combination to make it efficient and having some of the 3 unity will just make your life so much easier. And that brings me to one of my final points. I think we'll save pets for last, but one final thing, guys, is when you are doing the rifts, you do decide to push it early. Every time you complete the rift, it'll get easier for the next run. Not only will you just get straight damage dealt, but the first time you complete it, you already get access to either a more consistent debuff that you'll just apply or just straight up even more damage whenever allies attack. This just means like the longer you play this mode, you'll get more efficient. No need to break the bank early just to complete the first step. And if you guys are really struggling, do the first level manual, and then if you want, you can full auto the rest, as the first stage is really a ramp up in difficulty for anyone that's trying it now. But the main takeaway is the rewards for Rift are very good. You get to choose a set, which already kind of gives you an edge over Hunt with the customization of what sets you can get. You don't have to farm specific hunts on a different order. You can actually just min-max and choose, pick and choose the ones you want for your specific day of farming. Beyond that, too, we talked about the seasonal rewards a little bit. These are something that are one-time completion. Just get this done. You have 4 to 6 months. And then last but not least, guys, if you all remember the summer events, Ocean Breeze, Luluka, and Lethe have these events where you could pick up specific pieces of gear through the shop. This is going to be very similar. Now, I'm not sure yet. We're going to have to wait for people to break down the math on whether hunts will be the end game farming mode if you're going for gear, or if rifts will take over once you fully max out the rift controller. If it's efficient for energy is the big question right now. If you can min-max a team, have max out rift controller, is this better than farming hunts? And I think it will be, but time will only tell. Now, last but not least, guys, I've kind of been talking your ear off. Let's quickly talk about pets. And I want to go through a few examples. I think I'm going to make a dedicated, updated pet guide and specifically talk about rifts, but I want to give you guys a little bit of info for those of you that are rushing. If you weren't aware, Smilegate added 4 new rift skills for pets, and you're going to want them, especially if you're going to be farming that mode. So before you do it, you should try to get a pet available, and the main way to get the new skills is, of course, summoning. So let's show this first. Okay, this is how most of y'all's experience will be. It's RNG. We didn't even get a single B rank or higher. That's just how the game works sometimes. It's unfortunate, but earlier on stream I pulled a bunch, and I did get a few rift skills. I'll show you a few examples of the ones that you need to be using. Let me see if I can find them here real fast, guys. Let's sort by the skill, and let me look for my locked units. We have so many here, but just to show you guys a few here, the additional charm, just like in the hunt, is a great one to have. I believe the double rift energy is the one you're going to want to go for as well. And last but not least, the one I need to fish for is the extra chance for equipment to drop. I think the reforged material is not worth it, so pretty much just follow the way you have your hunt pet set up, guys, and it's similar, okay? Once again, extra charms, extra rift energy and season score, and then extra chance for additional equipment. Those are the 3 you want to run. Skip the reforged one, in my opinion. Now, last but not least, I want to leave y'all with this. And if you are building a hunt pet, let me give you guys another way besides just straight adopting or summoning pets to fish for S-rank skills. Some of you guys might be aware, some of y'all might not. And if you aren't aware, this is so important. Pay attention. When you have these random pets, don't just straight release them, because you're going to release for those crystals. But instead, when you're building up the fodder anyways, and it's on a skill you don't need, go ahead and level it to max, right? We're going to use those crystals. We're going to synthesize with another pet. Let me just find a random one here that we don't need. And don't choose any skills. What this is going to do is going to give us 2 brand new skills that could potentially be S ranks. And of course, the likelihood of it being an S rank and the rift skill we want is low, but it's additional tries, and this is a numbers game. It's all luck. You got to keep trying until you get those hunt skills. I wish Smilegate would add more quality of life to make it easier to fish for specific spots, or specific skills, I should say. But until then, this is what we got. So on top of that, too, if you want to be mega efficient, I think numbers-wise, it's not worth. Sometimes you will just hit the 1 in 5 and not upgrade. But for now, go ahead and just use these. Hit it with even the 80% chance. We did succeed, and we didn't get the S-rank skills. But we did get 2 additional skills, and they have chances to be S-rank and rift skills on top of that, okay? So make sure you do this. Don't choose skills. Have this as a new way to reroll and fish for specific rift skills. All right, guys, we'll end there. Thank you so much for watching. Long story short, don't rush your rifts. Wait for Lord Kane next week. Take it at your own pace, and don't break the bank. There's so much stuff you guys need to summon for and do in the game that right now it is getting a little bit harder and harder to do for newer players, returning players. So just take it at your own pace. No need to rush. No FOMO needed, all right? Take it easy, everybody, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out, guys.